We've done everything we possibly can with benchtop testing, and only then would we consider putting a device in an animal. We'll actually show you.
The worst people on Earth get reincarnated as Elon Musk's monkeys.
All right, welcome to the Neuralink Show and Tell. So we've got an amazing amount of new developments to share with you that I think are incredibly exciting, as well as tell you about the future of what we're planning to do here. It's and now this is meant to be
he's looking in tip-top shape,
podcast.
guys.
It's sort of like I'm going to provide an overall summary, and then we're going to have a number of members of the Neuralink team come in and give a deep technical overview of the various areas. So let me move forward with the overall summary. Now, some of the things I'm going to say are things
how does this man just have zero charisma?
You've already heard before, but for a lot of people out there, they've no idea what Neuralink does. And so I'll be a little bit repetitive of things you may already know, but that others do not. So the overarching goal of Neuralink is to create ultimately a whole brain interface. So a generalized input-output device that in the long term literally could interface with every aspect of your brain, and in the short term can interface with any given section of your brain and solve.
Create a generalized platform for the brain.
That cause debilitating issues for people. So so our long term is I'll talk a little bit about our long term goal. It's going to sound a little esoteric, but it was actually my prime motivation, which was what do we do about AI? Like, what do we do about artificial general intelligence? If we have digital superintelligence that's just much smarter than any human, how do we mitigate that risk? At a species level, how do we mitigate that risk?
Yes.
And then even in a benign scenario,
the question everyone's asking,
the AI is very, very benevolent. Then how do we even go along for the ride? How do we participate?
God, with all your money, you couldn't just take public speaking courses, dude.
The thing that the biggest limitation in going along for the ride and in aligning AI, I think, is the bandwidth, the how quickly you can interact with the computer. So we are all already cyborgs in a way, in that your phone and your computer are extensions of yourself. And I'm sure you found, like, if you leave your phone behind, you end up tapping your pockets, and it's like having missing limb syndrome. Like, where the phone is leaving your phone behind is kind of like the missing limb at this point. You're so used to interfacing with it. You're so used to being a de facto cyborg.
And now we're going to make it an even more intimate part of you.
So what's the limitation on a phone or a laptop? The limitation is the rate at which you can receive and send information, especially the speed with which you can send information. So if you're interacting with a phone, it's limited by the speed at which you can move your thumbs, or the speed at which you can talk into your phone. This is an extremely low data rate. Maybe it's like 10
dreams have
100 bits per second.
God
but a computer can communicate at
I would delete my Minecraft account is what I would do.
This is the fundamental limitation that I think we need to address to mitigate the long-term risk of artificial intelligence, and also just go along for the ride. And so, but like I said, that's an esoteric explanation that I think will appeal to a niche audience, some of whom may be here.
Richest man on earth, by the way.
And that's a very difficult problem. So even if we do not succeed with that problem, I think we are confident at this point that we will succeed at many. It's solving many brain injury issues, spine injury issues along the way. So
say spinal injuries.
Anyways, so actually we have Justin Roiland in the audience.
The guy from the cartoon.
So it's a little Rick and Morty reference here. There's a great Rick and Morty episode about intelligence enhancements of your dog, and what's the worst that can happen?
Guys,
so
that was the funniest shit I've ever seen.
Anyway, Rick and Morty, I recommend it.
Do you now?
So you want to be able to read the signals from the brain. You want to be able to write the signals.
God, he's such a late redditor, dude.
You want to be able to ultimately do that for the entire brain, and then also extend that to communicating to the rest of your nervous system if you have a sort of a severed spinal cord or neck. So this video is now 18 months old. So this is Pager, who is playing monkey mind pong. So this is
find you a girl who loves you the way that monkey loves that shit.
Implants in this video, and the thing that's interesting is that you can't even see the neural implant. So we've miniaturized the neural implant to the point where it matches the thickness of the skull that is removed. So it's essentially it's sort of like having an Apple Watch or a Fitbit.
He died shortly thereafter.
Replacing a piece of skull with like a smartwatch, for lack of a better analogy. So you can see, you really can't. He looks pretty. He's normal. And I think that's pretty important. If you have a Neuralink device,
he looks pretty normal.
I could have a Neuralink device,
but actually, he's seconds from an aneurysm.
You wouldn't even know. I mean, hypothetically, maybe one of these demos. In fact, one of these demos I will. Yeah.
Woo! Yeah, baby. That's what I've been waiting for.
Anyway, so here's a. I mean, first of all, it's kind of wild. Hey, monkeys can play Pong. They can actually play Pong if you give them a joystick. So Pedro first learned to play Pong with a joystick. So I'm like, that was novel. It's like, I didn't know monkeys could play Pong, but they can. And then, so we first trained Pedro to play Pong with a joystick. Then we took the joystick away and have the Neuralink. And now he's playing It's a telepathic video games, essentially.
What?
So what we've been doing since then is
very good
we're
diagram
on a very
here.
difficult journey from prototype to product.
What is this?
I've often said that prototypes are easy, production is hard.
I've given presentations better than this and gotten like
100 to 1,000 times harder to go from a prototype to a device that is safe, reliable, works under a wide range of
why didn't we think of it before? The prototype goes to the product. That's brilliant.
It's insanely difficult.
Thank you, Elon.
And there's an old saying that it's 1% inspiration, 99% perspiration, but I think it might be 99%.
He's lacking charisma.
Perspiration. The best example I could give of an idea being easy, the execution being hard, is going to the moon. It's the idea of going to the moon, easy. Going to the moon, very hard.
He maxed out on the Lux Strat, but even lately he's been rolling that
and we've been working hard to be ready for our first human. And
Lux Stat, sorry.
We want to be extremely careful and certain that it will work well before.
No charisma, no strength.
We've submitted, I think, most of our paperwork to the FDA, and we think probably in about 6 months we should be able to have our first Neuralink in a human. So. Woo! But as I said, we do everything we possibly can to test the devices before. Not even going into a human, before even going into an animal. So we do benchtop testing, we do accelerated life testing. We have a fake brain simulator that has the texture and it's like emulating a brain, but it's sort of rubber. And so before we would even think of putting a device in an animal, we do everything we possibly can with rigorous benchtop testing. So we're not cavalier in putting devices into animals. We're extremely careful, and we always want the device, whenever we do the implant, if it's in a sheep or a pig or a monkey, to be confirmatory, not exploratory, so that we've done everything we possibly can with benchtop testing, and only then would we consider putting a device in an animal. We'll actually show you.
The worst people on Earth get reincarnated as Elon Musk's monkeys. I'm convinced one of them had Hitler's spirit.
If
Don't
anyone
feel
in the
bad.
audience wants to volunteer, there's a robot right there. So since the Pager demo, we've expanded to work with a troop of 6 monkeys. We've actually upgraded Pager. They do varied tasks, and we do everything possible to ensure that things are stable and replicable, and that the device lasts for a long time without degradation.
That was many monkeys.
What you're seeing there is, it looks like the Matrix, but that's actually that's a real output of neural signals. So
it looked exactly like the Matrix,
or just a screensaver.
That's crazy.
Those are actual neurons firing. That is what one of the readouts looks like.
That is kind of cool.
And here you can see Sake, it's one of our other monkeys, typing on a keyboard. But now this is telepathic typing. So to be clear, this is he's not actually using a keyboard. He's moving.
So which one of these guys are still alive?
With his mind to the highlighted key. Now technically, we can't actually spell, and so I don't want to oversell this thing, because that's the next version.
You want to oversell this thing because he did die.
But what's really cool here is Sake the monkey is moving the mouse cursor using just his mind, moving the cursor around to the highlighted key.
They have their mouths on one of those sticks. They're literally blocking.
What we want to spell, but and then So this is something that could be used for somebody who's
this is bullshit,
say,
right?
Quadriplegic or tetraplegic human. Even
They're
before
using
we
their
make
tongue for that.
the spinal cord stuff work, is being able to control a mouse cursor, control a phone, and we're confident that someone who has basically no other interface to the outside world would be able to control their phone better than someone who has working hands.
Who's that one chick that tried to act like Steve Jobs, except like she cured cancer? He's like that girl.
And I mentioned upgradability. Upgradability is very important because our first production device will be much like an iPhone 1, and I'm pretty sure you would not want an iPhone 1 stuck in your head if the iPhone 14 is available.
Good. I was hoping I would get to spend $10,000 or whatever stupid fucking price
so you can remove
every
the device
year
and replace it with the latest version, or if it stopped working for any reason, replace it. That's a fundamental requirement for.
Don't get it, guys. They're going to patch out the jailbreak.
And I should say both Saki and Paige were upgraded to our latest and greatest implants. That's been really over a year and a half now that Pager's had.
It is quite useless.
The first implant and then the upgraded implant. So this is a very good sign that it
don't forget, people can't afford groceries right now.
Ill effects. I think it's also important to show that Saki actually likes doing the demo, and is not like strapped to the chair or anything. So it's.
Well, you're feeding him.
The monkeys actually enjoy doing the demos because they get the banana smoothie, and it's kind of a fun game. So. I guess smart trying to make is like we care a great deal about animal welfare.
You feed them.
And
of course they like doing it.
And I'm pretty sure, like our monkeys are pretty happy, So as you can see, a quick decision maker on the fruit front. So
your Neuralink hacked. Oh God, real life zombie apocalypse,
so
dude.
For our, the first two applications we're going to aim for in humans are restoring vision. And I think this is like notable in that even if someone has never had vision ever, like they were born blind, we believe we can still restore vision because the visual part of the visual cortex is still there. Yeah, even if they've never seen before, we're confident that they could see. And then the
only $500,000 to be able to see again.
In the motor cortex,
that's a kicker, right?
We would initially enable.
Even if all this shit is legit, that's the kicker.
Has no ability, almost no ability to operate their muscles. Sort of like a sort of Stephen Hawking type situation, and enable them to operate their phone faster than someone who has working hands. But then, even better than that would be to bridge the connection, take the signals from the motor cortex. And let's say somebody's got a broken neck, bridging those signals.
I wouldn't trust this guy to get me toilet paper to wipe my ass with. Why would I ever do this?
We're confident there are no physical limitations to enabling full body functionality. I mean, as miraculous as it may sound, we're confident that it is possible to restore full body functionality to someone who has a severed spinal cord. Yeah.
Oh, what sucks, Tame Pepper, is like. This is not all complete science fiction. It's not all impossible. He's just stupid, and I don't trust him.
And then I want to emphasize again that the primary purpose of this update is recruiting.
Is it?
A lot of times people think that they couldn't really work at Neuralink because they don't know anything about biology or how brains work. And the thing that we really want to emphasize here is that you don't
Why the fuck would anybody work for you? You fired everybody at Twitter.
The skills that are needed to
no shot
make Neuralink work, it's actually many of the same skills that are required.
Oh yes, the main thing we're looking for is people to work for us.
Modern phone work. So it's sort of
that makes me feel
software, better. Batteries, radios.
They won't be able to do this without employees.
Charging and. As well as things that are specific to us, like animal care and clinical and regulatory matters. Obviously, machine learning, that phrase is used a lot. But we obviously need to interpret the signals from the brain, which is a biological neural net. And the best thing to interpret a biological neural net is a digital neural net.
Oh, my God.
So this is, if there's one message I want to convey, it is that
why
if you
is
have
it so
expertise
boring?
in creating advanced devices like watches and phones, computers, then
Listen.
your
Okay, I'm done with this. Jeff Bezos is boring too. Don't get me wrong. Billionaires tend to be boring motherfuckers, but goddamn. Like, at least Jeff Bezos stays in the shadows, right? He don't come out and play. Elon Musk is out here to play, okay? If you want to play, like, on the camera and stuff, you gotta take some courses. You gotta, like, be a little charismatic and pretend like you're excited about this shit. Come on. Like, this is insane. He has the charisma of a wet noodle and probably the dick function of one as well. Like, come on. Jesus. By the way, like I said, even assuming any of this is real, right? Even assuming any of this works, like to give him the full benefit of the doubt and say like, oh yeah, no, he did it. He's Jesus. He cured blindness. I want to know how much it costs. I want to know. Because that shit ain't gonna be free. You kidding me? That is for Richie Riches only, okay? That's for the guy who's got like 10 penthouses on 10 different islands and he just happens to, you know, have a daughter who's blind. She's blind from birth. And then he can pay vast sums of money to grant her vision again. This is not for Mary and Joe Swanson down the street. I think that actually, no, it's Bonnie and Joe Swanson from Family Guy. Awful take. Thank you for your input, Handsome. I didn't ask. All right. Anyway, if you're watching this on YouTube, thanks so much for watching. That was Elon Musk doing his thing, I guess. Please remember to click the like button if you haven't already. Subscribe if you haven't already. Leave a comment down below and tell me what you think about all this nonsense. Would you volunteer to be one of Elon Musk's monkeys? And if you would, how much would it take? I would have to be guaranteed a spot in heaven, to be honest. I would have to know that heaven's real and that, like, it'll just be eternal bliss. There's nothing short of that I would... Even that's kind of a stretch. I don't think I would ever do it. Thanks again for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.